Good morning. Our first issue is, will India accept the IS returnees, Islamic State returnees? So in this regard, we have to know that IS, Islamic State, is a terror organization which had attracted many people from many countries through its radical Islamic terroristic ideology. From Europe, India, from many other countries, many people joined. From India also, especially from Kerala, many people joined. The few of them who remained after the war, now they are in jails, especially in Afghanistan. 4 women are there in jails. Afghanistan government is planning for repatriating them. In that context, in India, when they left India in 2016, NIA has filed a charge sheet and Interpol, India requested Interpol to issue red notices against them. And now they were arrested in Afghanistan. They are in Afghanistan jail. Afghanistan wants to deport them from Afghanistan jails. These people are highly radicalized. Last year also, they have run this online propaganda to radicalize people and to attract many people to IS ideology. These are 4 women. Their husbands, they were died in the war during this period. Now India might not be interested to repatriate. What France is doing is, there are many people who were radicalized from France and joined the IS cadres in Syria, Iraq, and elsewhere. France is asking those countries to go for a trial, and then after the trial period, once they were given punishment, after the completion of punishment only, it is ready to accept. Maybe India might take that particular stand. Next issue is migrant issue. Recently, Supreme Court has asked the government with regard to implementation of free rations to the migrants. Government has launched Pradhana Mantri Garibi Kalyani Yojana. In that, there is a component called Pradhana Mantri Garibi Kalyan Anna Yojana. This program is for distribution of free rations through the ration shops, local ration shops, even to the migrants. But then Supreme Court is asking, without the data, how can you supply the rations? We should have database of migrants, yes or no? Last year also this was the same issue. Now even after 1 year, if we don't prepare any of the databases, how are you planning to implement these schemes? That's the question of Supreme Court now. So migrant food crisis is a reality. Now again, due to lockdowns in multiple states, migrants, especially from rural to urban migrants, they are facing the issue. If they have to use the benefits of these schemes, they should have ration card. Earlier government said we will implement one nation, one ration card scheme. Even that is not there because of lack of database. Now Supreme Court is asking the government on this point, what about the data of migrants? Next issue is growing friendship between China and Sri Lanka. Recently, China Sri Lanka Friendship Hospital for kidney treatment. This was started with $60 million of a total investment, and there's a currency swap agreement between China and Sri Lanka of $2 billion, and then $90 million grant was provided to Sri Lanka by China. And then we know that Colombo Port City is built by China in Sri Lanka. In Colombo Port also it has certain share. Hambantota Port is under control of China. So likewise, slowly the influence of China over Sri Lanka is increasing. And Sri Lanka is at a strategic location in the Indian Ocean region, plus our neighbor. It's culturally, historically, strategically, economically important to India. India also has built this particular Jaffna Cultural Center, and overall India has provided $570 million of grant, especially after this Tamil Elam war. India has sponsored many projects, including housing projects in Jaffna Peninsula and other areas also. So in this context, this growing friendship between China and Sri Lanka is a concern for India. Next issue is vehicle scrapping policy. Budget 21-22 has proposed for vehicle scrapping policy to achieve reduction of pollution and to reduce the accidents, because old vehicles, they tend to reduce more pollutants, and because of their lack of fitment, etc., they are also leading to more accidents. In this context, under this vehicle scrapping policy 2021, government is providing certain incentives, road tax rebates. vehicle discounts in case of proper scrapping of the old vehicles. So that's the policy. The next issue is IIP Index of Industrial Production. Recently, NSO, National Statistics Office, has released this IIP for April month. This is a month on month calculated index. That means April 2020 is calculated with April 2021 and it is released with 6 week lag. Now we are in June, right? June second week. So it's released with 6 months lag and it calculates overall industrial output from the organized sector and unorganized sector. It has core industry, 8 industries which are given 40% of the weightage. This positive growth rate 0.8% plus is considered as abnormal because last year April 2020's growth is virtually nil because last year we were under complete lockdown. That's why now to measure the industrial growth, better indicators would be PMI, Purchasers Managers Index, how much e-way bills are generated, and the GST collections. Based on them, we can estimate the industrial production rather than using this IIP because of the base effect. Last year's base, that is April 2020's numbers are very, very less. Next, counting the COVID deaths. From these three are editorial articles. Please remember this. We need not read all the editorials. We have to read only which are relevant to us. Hindu newspaper is not written for civil aspirants. It's a paper. We are reading whatever is relevant. So you need not read all the editorials that are there. You can correlate with the syllabus and read whatever is relevant to us. Now, counting COVID deaths. In India, many states are showing less COVID mortality rates than the original numbers. And in many countries also this is happening. What happens when we report less? The measures that we take, they may not be commensurate with the loss that we are incurring. So for that particular purpose, COVID mortality number is important for policy making. We have civil registration system which is maintained by Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India. This is a database of death, number of people dead and the causes of it. So if we are not reporting the COVID as the cause of it, we might face issues in arranging the infrastructure, etc. for this particular disease to deal with this particular COVID crisis. So identification of death due to COVID or other cause. Here we have to be very clear. Calculation of excess deaths on baseline would be a better strategy. What does this mean? Last year, this month, or overall, on an average, every year, how many deaths are happening due to what cause? We should calculate. We already have the data. Now, how many deaths happened this year? We can correlate both, and we can say the excess deaths compared to both years are COVID deaths. That's a strategy which can be followed to count the COVID deaths. Next issue is Mumbai havoc of monsoon. We know that coastal Maharashtra is vulnerable to monsoons and southwest monsoon and cyclones that are formed over Arabian Sea. Recently, in the past few years, Arabian Sea temperatures are increasing, which is leading to more intense cyclones and monsoons. So, one of the major damages due to these cyclones and monsoons is housing collapses during monsoon period. What can we do? We can demolish the old buildings, repair and rehabilitate the old structures, remove the illegal and unauthorized structures. Apart from them, other measures that can be taken include we can rejuvenate the urban wetlands like lakes, etc. Mithi River that flows through Mumbai city, we know this is a big urban center. Mithi River flows through this particular city that needs to be revived and repair and upgrade the water flow system because Mumbai city is not at a high elevation. It is at the very low elevation as compared to the sea level. In that context, whenever there are storm surges, etc., water is gushing into the city. Apart from the rainwater and all, this water through storm surges, this is leading to inundation of the city. For that particular purpose, we should have a better water outflow system that should be made a priority for the urban area of Mumbai. Next issue is CAA and migrants issue. This is a bigger editorial, bigger article that is given in today's paper. Citizenship, as we know, from three countries, neighboring countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. From these three countries, we are accepting six minority communities, their minority communities who were persecuted. For them, we want to give citizenship on a priority basis. In general, it takes 11 plus 1 years, 11 years, and then 1 year of registration. Now, according to CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, the citizenship would be granted to these six communities from these six countries within 6 years. That means 5 plus 1. Recently, Ministry of Home Affairs also provided for long-term visa. That means within these 6 years, if they have to stay, we have to provide them some kind of certificate, right? That's why long-term visa provision is this was there prior to this act, Amendment Act. This provision was there. Now, proper guidelines were issued under CAA 2019. Many of them are facing security threats, persecution in their own countries. That's why they are moving to India. Thank you very much. All the very best.